Pokemon X and Y is my favorite no, scratch that. It's my favorite game of all time. And I know that that's crazy to say. I mean I think we all as Pokemon fans can agree that Red and Blue is probably objectively the worst Pokemon games. However, you won't be called crazy if you were to say that Red and Blue were your favorite games. I mean, they're the games that started it all, right? But anything, in fact, I would say that no one would call you crazy for saying any game was your favorite pre Gen 6. Anything post Gen 5, though, I mean, to be fair, I don't know if anyone would call you crazy if you were to call the Gen 7 games your favorite, right? I mean, maybe Sun and Moon, but Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I don't think anyone would call you crazy for saying that they were your favorite games. However, for Gen 6, 8, and 9, yeah, it's a little bit more of a complicated issue. I mean, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, they're remakes of Gen 3, so it's alright. And plus, they're universally loved, so. But Gen 8 with Sword and Shield, yeah, Sword and Shield story was trash. And the map's design was also trash. Like it's a straight line. I mean the map's fine. I mean the region in itself is fine. It's a beautiful region, but it's just it's a straight line. I understand it's the UK, but you could have been more creative. But you just go up. You just go up. You just at least in like Unova, Hoenn, even Carlos, you go here to here, 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 back here. But in Gala, it truly is a straight line up. That's crazy. It's a straight line up. It's pretty boring level design. Um, and Scarlet and Violet, well, at first it had performance issues when it first released. Now, in the performance wise, it's fine. But I actually didn't like when people kept on rambling on about the performance because first of all, I didn't really have an issue with the performance, but also when you keep on rambling on about the performance over and over and over and over, you give people the impression that the performance is the only issue with the game. When no, I disliked the game even when I didn't have permission performance issues. Even when I didn't have performance issues, I still disliked the game. I didn't like Scarlet and Violet because the game is empty. The region is empty. Paldea, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to explore. There's nothing to learn outside of maybe the history class. There's nothing to learn about the region. And I thought at the very least the DLC would have expanded on Paldea, but no. It takes place in an island far away in another region. One part is in another region, Kitakami. I didn't play the DLCs by the way, but I know. The Kitakami is called Kitakami, right? In that region, whatever, is a Japanese region, I think. And then Blueberry Academy doesn't even expand on Paldea. I hate that. At the very least, Sword and Shield's DLC expanded on Gala. Paldea's did not do that, and Paldea desperately needed it because Paldea is boring. Paldea is trash. Like, come on, the map, bro. It's just a barren wasteland. It's a barren wasteland, and I would have been okay with that if there were at least like landmarks here and there. No, it's empty. It's empty. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do, and the cities themselves are boring. I understand that there are a lot of people who say, well, going inside of houses, it's unrealistic. We don't need to do that. And I was one of those people. I remember I used to be one of those people like 5 years ago. But now, 5 years later, I've come to the realization that I actually, especially after playing a Fire Red and Leaf Green, fully for the first time when they re-released it, I hopped on that game immediately, played it from beginning to end, I loved everything about the game. But it's from playing that game that I was reminded that going inside of houses is actually a good thing. It was actually a good thing. Talking with the NPCs, them dumping the lore of the city you're in on you, finding trades you would have never been able to find. The safari zones, there was always something to do in the city. Even if there wasn't anything to do, talking with the NPCs was interesting. Sometimes it was a funny joke, sometimes it was just a lesson that you really didn't need, you already knew the answer to. And sometimes they, oh no, it was just interesting. Sometimes they were dumping the law on the city. But when it comes to but Scarlet Violet doesn't have any of that, and that's just sad. Sword and Shield doesn't really. I mean, Sword and Shield, you can enter a few houses, not a lot of them, but a few, so it's still better. And to me, the most important thing in a Pokemon game is immersion. I love catching Pokemon. I love the battles. I love challenge. But for me, what makes a Pokemon game extremely good is immersion. I want to feel immersed in the world. I want to learn as much of the world as possible. I want the world to look interesting. I want the world to be interesting. But Paldea neither looks nor is interesting to explore. But I that's why I don't that's why I dislike Scarlet and Violet. I don't like, you can say all you want about the characters. Yes, the characters are peak. Whatever. Nemona's peak, Arven's peak, Penny's peak, the Elite Four are peak, whatever. You could say that. You could say that. But if the game itself is not good, if the characters are the only thing that are good about the game, then that's just a cherry on top of poop. Sure, yeah, the cherries are good, but I still don't want to eat poop. The game is still dung. The game is still poop. I don't like it. I don't like Scarlet and Violet at all. This might be crazy to say, but actually, enjoy Sword and Shield more than Scarlet and Violet, specifically for that reason. Yeah, the cities look more interesting, and I feel more immersed in the world of Galar. I don't know. Is that, I believe that is crazy to say. I think that's a crazy thing to say, but that's just how I feel. I actually like Sword and Shield more than Scarlet and Violet. I didn't play either DLCs. I'm not really much of a DLC guy. I don't go out of my way to buy DLCs most of the time. Um, I preferred Sword and Shield. I'm sorry. And then we got X and Y, which are my favorites. Which is actually, it is crazy to say it's your favorite. I understand, but they were my first games. This was the game that introduced me to Pokemon. Therefore, it is the best. That really sums it. It's the games were my first games. Therefore, they are the best. I believe it's like that for everyone. Nostalgia, am I right? I mean, Gen 6 itself, X and Y themselves, they're not too bad. They're not too bad. You can enter houses. That was one thing. That was one thing you could do. One thing I liked as well, the distance between the first gym and the second gym was beautifully long. It was beautifully long. I wish more did that. More did things like that. More games or more Pokemon games. But that distance between the first gym and second gym, oh my gosh, the amount of things you had to see, you could see, riding the Rhyhorn, although it didn't last long, sadly. The cave, meeting Team Flare, all of those routes, the Snorlax, Perfume Palace, it was all so peak. It was peak, bro. It was peak. It was peak. It was peak, bro. X and Y was peak, bro. X and Y was peak. The legendaries were peak, although I think they were a little too broken for my liking. They were peak nonetheless. And we were robbed. We were robbed. We could have had a whole Southern Carlos, but the game was rushed. It was unfinished. Bro, we were robbed. It could have been peak. I think the game's already peak. It could have been more peak. We could have had Southern Carlos. I don't know what else they were planning, but it was apparently was something amazing. If what we had was just a part of what was supposed to come out, bro. And I thought at the very least Legends EA was gonna redeem us. I thought Legends EA was gonna redeem us, Carlos fans, but it turns out nope, no, it didn't redeem us because Legends EA, under the evidence that I've collected. Hold on, let me get my documents. I need to get my documents. I need to get my documents. All right, with the help of the evidence collected right here on my paper, X and no, not X and Y. Sorry, hold on, the wrong page. Legends EA was trash. Like, Legends EA is boring. I I don't like Legends EA at all. The games were bad. The games were garbage, in my opinion. The games were garbage. If you like the game, that's fair. For me, the game was so boring that the story itself was a blur. I couldn't even pay attention to the story because of how boring I found the gameplay loop for Legends EA. I never played Legends Arceus. I was hyped for Legends EA because it was Carlos. It was the return to Carlos. I couldn't wait. It was supposed to be the sequel for Carlos. It was supposed to redeem Carlos. I was waiting for this. For years, I've been waiting. And it was this. I didn't even get that far into the game, if I'm going to be honest. I only got up to like the first few Mega Evolution, the first few what? Mega Evolution quests. That's it. I'm not far into the game at all, and I don't plan on playing the game ever again. That one time I said to myself, "Okay, these games are boring. I obviously don't like them. I'm just gonna stop playing them," and I never picked them up ever since. I don't like the game at all. Legends EA is a game. It is a game. If you like it, that's fair. Go ahead. But I can't. But I can't believe there's actually DLC for that game. I can't believe there's DLC for that game. It's insane to me that there is DLC for that game. And honestly, with the newer Mega Evolutions introduced, fine. Yeah, you know what? That's the only good thing I can take away from that game is that it introduced newer Mega Evolutions. You know, what? Fair. But come on, man. I don't like when mega evolutions are given to Pokemon that are already busted. Like, come on, we don't need like Lucario. Did Lucario need a second mega evolution? Raichu having two mega evolutions, fine. That's actually awesome. Lucario having a second mega evolution, no, he did not need that. He didn't need that. Garchomp getting a second mega evolution, he didn't need that. He didn't need that. I don't know how if Mega Garchomp Z, right? I don't know if Mega Garchomp Z is good, but if it is, they are really trying to make busted Pokemon even more OP. Like, come on, give it to weaker Pokemon. What about low kicks? Give a low kick some. Actually, no, you know what? Never mind. I would rather it get a third evolution rather than. I would rather it get a third stage rather than Mega Evolution. Give it to fully evolved Pokemon that are not good competitively. Give it to them. They're the ones that deserve the Mega Evolutions, not these Pokemon that are already overpowered. Whether you give Lucario a Mega Evolution or not, people are still going to use Lucario on their teams. Whether you give Garchomp a Mega Evolution or not, people are going to still use Garchomps on their teams. Beedrill having a Mega Evolution was good because no one was using Beedrill, and now it's got a Mega Evolution. Well, at least back in the day when it got a Mega Evolution. Now everyone was using it until oh um Morwal is another good example, right? Right, because Morwal, I think Morwal, yeah, Morwal is another good example, I believe. It's called Morwal, right? Right. Morwal is another good example. It's another good example of a Pokemon that's oh, but honestly though, did Morwal really need a Mega Evolution? Couldn't Morwal's evolution have been just a regular evolution? I think it would have actually been preferable that way because, geez, man, without Mega Evolution, Morwal is cooked. No one's using her, and that's tough because now Morwal's locked it with Mega Evolution. Morwal is locked with Mega Evolution because I don't think Pokemon with Mega Evolution can have a further evolution. Mega Evolution is supposed to be like their maximum potential, so that means Morwal is locked with Mega Evolution forever. That's tough. It is what it is. But I think Mega Evolution should be reserved for weaker Pokemon, not Pokemon that are already OP. Like Mewtwo did not need a Mega Evolution. Rayquaza definitely did not need a Mega Evolution. That's crazy. Groudon and Kyogre, fine. You know what? They were the legendaries. You know, whatever. Their primal forms are fire. But Rayquaza did not need a Mega Evolution. I promise you, he did not need a Mega Evolution. Bro, God forbid that Xerneas or Yveltal ever get a Mega Evolution one day. Please do not make it happen. Please do not make it happen. I'm not a competitive player, but I promise you that the meta is gonna be the meta. The world of competitive Pokemon will be broken. It was already broken by Xerneas once. It will be broken by Xerneas again. This is crazy. I don't even know. Is Xerneas even? Is this Xerneas banned from competitive play? Is Xerneas banned in Pokemon Champions? I hope so. I hope to all the players that play Pokemon Champion that Xerneas is banned in there because boy, hate Xerneas. Bro, Xerneas was busted for no reason. No reason. I ended up rambling way too long about Pokemon. But man, the point I'm trying to make is that Pokemon X and Y, they're not too bad. And I mean, to be fair, most people probably only like the games for its online, and that's it. No, for its online and Mega Evolution. I mean, I outside of that, I don't think people really find X and Y that memorable, especially the base game. And it's true. The base game is a missed potential. Only you're telling me only two trainers in the entire base game main story. In the entire main story, there are only two trainers that have Mega Evolution, Diantha and Lysander. Game Freak, I need you to lock in immediately. I need you to lock in. What the hell do you mean only two trainers in the whole main story have Mega Evolution? Serena has Mega Evolution in post game, but we're not talking about that right now. That's post game. You tell me in the main story only two trainers use the game's main mechanic. I need you to lock in immediately. I need you to lock in immediately. You could have at least had Wolfric use Mega Evolution because Wolfric is a bum. For those who know, you know. If you know, you know. Wolfric is a bum. Final gym leader. This man made a whole speech saying to some people, I'm trash. To others, I'll be the strongest of challenge. No, you're not your bum to everyone. You are a bum. Wolfric, you are a bum. I'll never forgive you. Get out of my region immediately. You are no longer allowed in colors. Get out of my region immediately. Wolfric, you are a bum. Don't talk to me ever. Don't talk to me ever again. Go to that Pokemon village next door and stay there. If I see you in my Carlos again, you're cooked. It's on site. I beat you once. Multiple times actually. I don't know how many times I replayed X and Y. I kind of wish I had X and Y with me right now. I probably have the game somewhere, but my 3DS is broken. I can't even play it. But I beat you probably 100 times by now. I'll beat you again. But this time, once your Pokemon are done, you're finished. I will personally give you an ass beating. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this. But aside from that, Wolfric is a bum. Don't get me wrong, Wolfric is a bum. But I'm surprised that wait. How many Pokemon does each gym leader have? It's crazy how little Pokemon they have. Don't tell me the eighth gym leader only has three Pokemon, bro. Don't tell me he only has three. Hold on, let me research this. I'll research this. How many Pokemon does Wolfric have? Wolfric. No, you need to see this. You'll need to see this immediately. Look at this, bro. This is it, bro. He's a bum. He's a bum. There's no way. No, get out of my region immediately. You have no right in being in X and Y in my region. Get out. Leave. leave. Warfric is a bomb. You could have at least given him a fourth Pokemon, man. X and Y. Another problem with X and Y. Those games are way too easy. I know as a kid, I struggled playing it. Somehow, I don't see how. I don't see how I struggled playing it. I remember. I don't know if it's just me. The second gym leader was pretty challenging, and honestly, yeah, I think he still remains somewhat challenging. But third gym leader, Karina, for some reason, I could never beat her. At least in my early days. I don't know why. How Lucha's flying press would one hit KO every single Pokemon on my team. How is that possible? Now, of course, I can easily beat her, but Jesus Christ, as a kid, I felt like she had a buff. I think as a kid, I kept on letting her Howlucha spam Hone Claws, and because of that, its attack was crazy. I was getting cooked. Oh my gosh. I was getting cooked by his flying press. It would spam like 3, 4 home claws and then flying press. I was finished. My whole team was one hit KO'd, and the Howlucha was like level 32, I think. It was higher level than all of my Pokemon, so it was faster too. So I was getting cooked by every single one of them flying presses, one hit KO. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. And as a kid, I didn't understand what status what moves like Home Claws did. For me, as a kid, it was like if the move doesn't do damage, then it's useless. That's how I thought. I didn't know about all the stats, the stat hiring, stat lowering attacks. As a kid, I only started understanding that at like I started playing these games I was 8. I only started understanding like those status moves when I was 9, 10, like a year after I started playing. That's crazy. But X and Y, my favorite game, favorite Pokemon game. They're definitely not the best. Oh no, I know for a fact they're not the best, but they're my favorite. They're my favorite. You know, sometimes nostalgia blinds you. If I take my nostalgia goggles, my nostalgia glasses off, do I look uncanny without my glasses? If I take my nostalgia glasses off, Pokemon Black and White are my favorite Pokemon games of all time. But nostalgia is a part of who we are. So I will keep my nostalgia glasses on, and Pokemon X and Y will remain my favorite games of all time. Black and White is very close though. I really like Black and White. Another game that I love that everyone else hates is Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. People say its soundtrack is well, not the best. I mean, I can't really disagree. I can understand it. To me, the soundtrack. I mean, maybe it's because I grew up with the soundtrack. Mind you, Sonic Chronicles of the Dark Brothers was my first ever video game ever. Like that is the first video game I ever received. So obviously, I grew up with the sound with that soundtrack. So I don't find it bad, but I understand why others find it bad. I understand why others find Sonic Chronicles soundtrack bad. Yeah, it's blasting through like speakers. It sounds the quality doesn't sound the best, honestly. So yeah, makes sense. And the game itself, whenever you hit an enemy, they make like weird sounds. Like I remember hitting an enemy, and then the enemy would sound like he's about to vomit. It would go, "Ugh! Ugh!" Something would do is spin dash, and the enemy would go. Ugh! Oh my gosh, man! Sonic Chronicles: Dark Brotherhood was all right. I would say that the first half of the game was absolutely fire. To me, to me, the first half of Sonic Chronicles of Dark Brotherhood was fire. It's only when you entered like that second that like prison dimension thing, that zone, that the second half essentially, that's where things start to slow down, and that's where the game gets worse progressively. But I especially hate that first planet in that second dimension. I hate that first planet with the rock with like those rock giants. I hate them. I hate them so much. Every single time I arrive at that planet, I attack them. I only do 1 HP. How the hell am I supposed to beat them? Spam my moves over and over again and spam my healing items? Someone please tell me. I mean, actually, no, don't tell. I mean, yes, I still want to be told, but like, I don't even have a 3DS anymore. It's broken. Damn it. Damn it, I miss my 3DS. But yeah, it's broken. I got to do anything about it. It's broken. No. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So called Dark Brotherhood. To me, they're really good. To everyone else, they are a horrible attempt at an RPG. I've heard that I've heard that the story of the games was actually plagiarized by a Sonic comic book writer. Yeah, that's tough. They were planning on making a sequel to that game too. That's tough. That's tough. And it's crazy because yeah, the ending was pretty abrupt, wasn't it? After Sonic had finished with his fight with the what's his name, Nox, I think his name was. Then you get a signal saying that Eggman has conquered Earth or something, right? I don't know. I don't. It's been years since I've last played that game. I completely forgot. Another game that that I love that everyone else hates to a lesser degree though, not as much as Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood, is maybe Legends Legend of Zelda: The Spirit Tracks. Bro, I grew up with this game, bro. Spirit Tracks is fire. And I see all these YouTubers, they keep on lumping it in with Phantom Hourglass. No, those games are not the same. I've never played Phantom Hourglass, so I don't know. But people, when they see Phantom Hourglass and say it's bad, they immediately assume that Spirit Tracks is bad as well. No, play the games. I promise you, Spirit Tracks is fire. Please give it a chance. Please, I understand that blowing in the pan flute is annoying. I understand, but please give those games a chance. I promise you, Spirit Tracks is fire. The story is so good. I was never able to complete the story, by the way. Sadly, I was never able to complete it. But the game is still fire. The game's oh, Spirit Tracks. Is Spirit Tracks underrated? I think Spirit Tracks is underrated. Honestly, in a tier list, I would put it in B tier. I promise you, I would put it in B tier in a tier list. That game is good. The game is good. Please, just give it a chance. Please, please. Spirit Tracks is Spirit Tracks is good. It has a Zelda that's I guess the most present in the story. I don't think there's a Zelda that's more present in the Legend of Zelda story than Spirit Tracks. I mean, outside of Echoes of Wisdom, of course. Like, bro, come on, man. Ghost Zelda was fire. For those who know, you know. If you know, you know. Oh man, Spirit Tracks is underrated. But that's for me. For me, those are some of my favorite games that are probably hated by everyone else. But I would like to know in the comment section, what about you? What are your favorite games that are hated by majority of people?